Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Let's pause for a second because you might be doing something right now that pushes us away without even realizing it. It's not about your looks or how many messages you send. It's much simpler and honestly, it's something most guys overlook. If you've been putting in all this effort to convince us to like you and it's still not working, there's a reason for that, and it's not what you think. If you want to decode more of our unspoken rules, hit subscribe and let us know in the comments which mistake you've been making. So, what is it that actually makes us lose interest in us instantly? Let's break it down. Why trying too hard makes us lose interest? Here's what most guys miss. Trying too hard is the fastest way to make us lose interest in us. We'll explain why. When you're always the first to text, always available to hang out, or constantly offering up every detail about yourself, it doesn't make us more attracted to you. It does the opposite. You might think you're showing us you care, but what we actually feel is that you're chasing approval. That changes the dynamic. Suddenly, we have all the power, and you're left hoping for a reaction. At first, we might enjoy the attention, but once it becomes routine, it loses its impact. There's no tension, no curiosity, no reason for us to wonder about you, because you've made everything about your intentions crystal clear. We know from research into attraction that moments of absence create curiosity and light up dopamine pathways, making us think about you. When you're always present, always responding within seconds, you remove that emotional trigger. Here's how we see it. If you answer our texts within 5 seconds every time, we stop associating you with excitement. But if sometimes you wait, we catch ourselves wondering what you're up to, and that pull grows. It's not about playing games or being cold. It's about letting there be space for us to notice your absence. That's what keeps us engaged. Just like a movie without pauses, a conversation without space loses impact. We need tension to build, and that only happens when you're not always there. When you fill every gap, when you're always available, you're not giving us the chance to miss you. There's no mystery left. No reason for us to ask ourselves, what's he doing? Is he thinking about me? Instead, we know exactly where you are and how you feel. And that predictability makes us take your attention for granted. If this resonates, tap like so we know you're ready to flip the script on your dating mistakes. We're not saying you should ignore us or pretend you're too busy if you're not. We see through fake aloofness just as quickly as we see through over-eagerness. What actually draws us in is confidence. When you don't feel the need to explain yourself at every turn or prove your worth through constant messages, it shows you know your value. That's what stands out to us. True confidence is quiet. You don't have to say it. We feel it. When you're selective with your time and attention, we start to notice the difference. We start to wonder about you. And that's when the dynamic shifts. Suddenly, we're the ones leaning in, trying to figure you out. We're wired to pursue what feels slightly out of reach. When you're not always available, we appreciate the moments we do get with you. When you don't overshare, we want to know more. The push and pull isn't about being manipulative. It's about having a full, interesting life that doesn't revolve around us. That's what makes you memorable. You become the person we think about when you're not around, because there's more to you than what's on the surface. So, what does this look like in real life? It's about setting boundaries with your time and energy. It's about resisting the urge to respond instantly just to keep the conversation going. It's about showing interest but not overwhelming us with it. When you lean on presence instead of words, when you let your actions speak, you become someone we can't ignore. That's when we start to miss you. Not because you're playing a part, but because you're confident enough to let the connection breathe. You might wonder how to strike that balance, how to avoid coming off as fake or detached while still holding your ground. The answer is simpler than you think, and it starts with understanding what real attraction is built on. Final conclusion. Attraction has nothing to do with chasing us or proving your worth. It's about becoming a man we want to respect, admire, and miss. Desperation pushes us away, but self-respect draws us in. When you show confidence, purpose, and emotional control, we notice it naturally when we observe your confidence. We're drawn to men who have their own priorities and don't need to beg for our attention. When you stop treating us like a prize you have to win, we'll naturally see your worth. If you've tried holding back and saw her chase you, share your story below.